What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for AEW on TNT review for last night's episode. That is how you kick off a new year. That is how you get right back on track after that abysmal end to last episode on the 18th of December. This was a fantastic episode. Outside of the ending of the first two matches, I'd say this was right on track to where they need to be, where we need to go. The Elite looked strong in the end. The Inner Circle still recruiting Jon Moxley as he has not given the decision yet. You had a Women's Championship match, which still to me makes no sense why it happened. Cody versus Darby Allin, good way to start off this year. And just more and more of what we want to see. And of course, because the Georgia Bulldogs were playing a football game this past Wednesday, they were in the Sugar Bowl at the same time that this show was going on. We had Taz on commentary with Jim Ross and Excalibur. I would have to see that Taz did an adequate job. This was he filled in nicely for Tony Schiavone. There is no replacing Tony Schiavone, but I'd say that he passes with flying colors for this. And of course, Taz is good like that. I have a feeling he's going to be on standby for when Tony Schiavone, because Tony Schiavone has a contract with the Georgia College to do football games and basketball games, and usually, of course, football's on Fridays. But I think there are going to be some basketball games on Wednesday, so he might be doing Georgia radio, and we might see Taz as we get closer to March Madness. As now that football season 4 college is over, minus a couple bowl games in the next few days, and the national championship on the 13th, Georgia has a lot more coming its way. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot less of Tony Schiavone in the months of January, February, and March. I could be totally wrong, but I'm not going to hold you to it. Well, we started off with Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin. Arn Anderson, of course, has been hired by Cody for his advisor and coaching role. So he comes out first when the music goes up. You see the lights come up, and Cody and Arn Anderson's there. He's got an AEW vest on. He's pointing to the AEW logo. So crowd is fairly split early on in this chant on each wrestler. Numerous pin attempts, only one counts so for each guy. Cody talks to Anderson for a moment as he gathers himself. Allin goes for a springboard coffin drop, reversed. Cody gets reversed, throws a forearm and launches him into the ring post. Allin ends up on the outside of the floor. Back in the ring, Allin back in the ring knocks Cody out to the floor and lands a suicide dive. And he doesn't do a normal suicide dive where he goes forward. He does that where he comes running, but then he turns and takes his back to them. But he throws him shoulder first into the ring post. He sends Cody back in the ring, but Cody with a disaster kick that puts Cody down on Allin down to the floor. Allin able to cover and hit the left shoulder again. Allin sets Cody down to the mat, covering for a 2 count or 1 count. Cody looks for the figure 4. Allin able to reverse for a moment. Cody gets back up. Allin with a rope break. Cody tries for another figure 4. Allin counters and kicks Cody's shoulder first into the corner. Allin with a cover goes right into the armbar, then traps both arms into so. Cody, he had him in one armbar, then Cody's going for another armbar, and Cody's like, no, not going to do that, and has both of them backwards. So Cody has to use his legs to get his leg to the ropes. Cody does do that, and is able to get out of that, but great way of trying to get Cody to tap out and to give up is getting both arms trapped, making it a little bit harder for Cody to be able to stay in this. Allin yanks the top turnbuckle pad off as he is just frustrated. He wants to end this. He tries to send Cody into it, but Cody reverses it, launching Allin over the top rope. But Allin lands on the rope. Springboard crossbody cover to, actually he didn't land on the rope, he landed on a stage as they were in Dali's place, so they only had the one entrance with the stage, which is shorter than it would be in other arenas. So he gets up and he hits a crossbody. Allin gets rocked with the spinning power slam that you see him and his brother do. Cody with a kick and a 10 punches in the corner. Cody tosses his weight belt out in the front row. 10 minutes down, 10 minutes to go, and a 20 minutes latch. Cody sits Allin on the top rope. Cody reverses with a reverse suplex, cover 2, back and forth action during the break. Allin with a code red off the second rope, cover 2. Allin with an over-the-top stunner. Allin looks for a coffin drop, but Cody rolls onto the apron. Allen's like, screw this, I'm gonna still hit you with this, and hits the coffin drop anyway on the outside. It was not one of these things where last time where he went for the coffin drop on the apron, but Cody moved and he ended up hitting his back square on the side of it. This time he hit it, got him back into the ring. Cody lands a knee to the face, 5 minutes remaining. And I'm thinking, we're not going to have this again, are we? And we're not going to go with a double tie. No. Cody goes for the springboard cutter. Allin dodges it. Allin looks for the stunner, but ends up taking a crossroads cover 2. Cody is surprised by that one. He looked for the AA and reset. Cody charges in and ends up running into exposed turnbuckle. Allin for the top goes for the coffin drop. Anderson comes up to the ring and starts tapping on his knee, which Cody lifts his knees up, catches Allin with and drops him 1, 2, 3, and that's the way the match ended. And I do not like that ending at all. It's cool that you have Anderson go up and he's like, oh, get the knees up, get the knees up. But Cody hit a devastating looking crossroads. That should be the end of the match. If Cody is the winner of the match, that's the end of the match. I am sick and tired of seeing finishers kicked out of. This match is not for a world title. This was a match that was a rematch from what happened at the Fyter Fest when these two went to a draw. This match did not deserve, it did not need a kick out of a finisher. I am sick and tired of that stuff. I hate it in WWE. I hate it here. I hate it in any wrestling promotion ever. The art of false finishes needs to go away. It's been done to death. This was a good match with a terrible finish. Plain and simple. Backstage, Jen Decker talks with AEW World Tag Team Champions SCU. She's asked the fans what fans can expect from them in 2020. SCU says everyone is stepping up, noting Dark Order and Santino Ortiz. Sammy Guevara comes in and talks some trash to Christopher Daniels, saying, you might ask him what besides his wrinkles has he on his face does he have? Maybe Pentagon was right. Maybe you still don't have it. With all those L's in your record book. The two, he says, Christopher Daniels said, oh, you don't think I still have it? Well, how about we figure that out next week? And Sammy Guevara, of course, is vlogging this. So Christopher Daniels takes his thumb, licks it, and then takes his licked thumb and just smears it on the phone of Christopher Daniels. Riho versus Nyla Rose versus Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida, AEW Women's Championship. The only reason this match is happening because Chris Statlander could not be here because she was fulfilling a commitment with Joey Ryan's Bar Wrestling, which honestly, if that was how it was, they should have had this match booked for next week or, in my opinion, Bash at the Beach. However, this match went too long and this match was not good. Riho is the worst women's champion of all women's champions in any promotion. From Bayley to Rhea Ripley to Becky Lynch to whoever's, I think it's Tyra Valkyrie, to whoever's the Shimmer's women's champion. Anybody who is a women's champion is a better champion than Riho. She is the most unbelievable champion I have ever seen. So, if anything, I wouldn't say this was a perfect show, but this has to be the match that was the weakest part of the show. So you have, and this is one of my problems. This is a couple of my problems. One, this match shouldn't exist because none of these women have deserved a title shot recently. Nyla Rose, who about 4 weeks ago put a referee and Shauna through a table and was suspended the rest of 2019. Her first match back is a title match? Are you kidding me? That's WWE type logic right there, and I don't want WWE type logic in AEW. If you like, it's like you could have had like, and this is another thing that I don't get. On the 18th episode of this show, they had Chris Statlander to beat Britt Baker. Okay, fine. Then you had Brandy Rose hit her in the eye with her heeled shoe. Why didn't you play that up as she's injured and she's not going to be cleared for another week or two? Why didn't you do that? No, she has a commitment to Bar Wrestling. We're going to let her go do that, and we're going to have a title match in the meantime. Again, Riho is the worst champion. And after this match and what Hikaru Shida went through in this match and how she performed in this match, why did they pick Riho? Why did Riho get the push? Why didn't Hikaru Shida get the push? And the only reason I still saying you can't change my mind is the only reason Riho won the championship and is still the women's champion is because she is the favorite of Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega wants to make her this big, huge star, and quite honestly, she's not a big star. She's not going to be a big star. She is not believable. She goes out there and wins this match in the most unbelievable way. Her kicks, her punches, her double foot stomp, none of it looks like it even hurts. Like, Shida goes out there and she's doing a Michinoku driver to Nyla Rose. Can Riho do that? No. And if Riho did that, then that would just kill the business completely because it's like there's no way that she could do that legitimately. But Shida goes out there and looks like she should have been the one that they made the first ever. They picked to be the first ever women's champion. Why they went with Riho, I'll never know outside of the fact that she is the favorite of Kenny Omega. This match absolutely was boring. It went way too long. And quite honestly, I'm not a fan of Riho. I will not be a fan of Riho. Basically what happened at the end of the match, because I don't even want to go through this match. Riho should have never been champion. Shida should be champion going into next week's match. Breakker hits a super kick on Shida, side Russian leg sweep, goes to the lockjaw, random claw attempt, and countered into a 2 count. Riho then immediately flips into a jackknife on Baker for the 1, 2, 3. Really? Really? That's it? That's how you do it. That's the end of the match. You have Shida, who just got a pin attempt on Baker, kicked out, and immediately Riho goes into a pin attempt. 1, 2, 3. I'm watching them in this match and I'm like, that was bullshit. That was stupid. Riho's entire title reign. Tell me one match that Riho has won the match like in a dominant way, or hasn't won the match by the skin of her teeth. Every single match, from the title match that she was in the first match on October 2nd to this match, every single time she has defended this title, it has been a by the skin of your teeth win, and it's fucking bullshit, and it has to stop. Riho loses to Chris Statler next week, or this women's division has no hope. This women's division is the biggest crutch of this company, and if Riho still is your champion after the 8th of January, this women's division has no hope whatsoever. Plain and simple. Because they want to shove Joshi Wrestling down your throat and make Riho the face of that when they're pushing the wrong Joshi. Just saying. Riho needs to lose next week, or this women's division will always be the piece of garbage that it is. After the match, Rose clotheslines her. She brings in a table, sets it up, puts Rhea on the table, and there's a diving splash to put her through it. Whoop-de-doo. Backstage, Joey Janela is asked by Alex Marvez what he's looking forward to in 2020. He goes to speak, and then he starts speaking, and then all of a sudden you see him go, ugh! And they fan down, and there's a low blow by Penelope Ford. And Strolls kept saving to see what she did. The two laugh and head off. So it looks like we're going to be done with Shawn Spears and Joey Janela finally. And we're moving on to Skip Sabian and Joey Janela. Where we go from here, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Evil Uno cuts a promo talking about how the Elite are done, as we see footage from the Dark Order took out the group 2 weeks ago. Una says we will see how far the Dark Order reaches truly is. I don't care. After the attack on the Elite 2 weeks ago, which was absolutely atrocious, I really don't care about the Dark Order. I had a little care. You had interest build up for the Dark Order with those promo packages, and then you went and you blew it all, and it's not worth watching now. Jon Moxley versus Trent. This was a fun match here. Of course, Jon Moxley is the #1 contender. Remember, all records have been erased. They're all back to 0-0. They are a yearly thing, but the overall record is still intact. So Jon Moxley is still ranked #1 and will be going up against Chris Jericho in the coming months, probably at Revolution. Not official yet, but it's a foregone conclusion that Jon Moxley should be your next AEW heavyweight champion. So back and forth match here. JR did joke about how, I think it was JR or Excalibur joked about how Jon Moxley won't be breaking his record for fastest win in this one, which he does own. Moxley whips Trent into the corner, but Trent hits a half and half suplex. Moxley out to the floor. Trent with a flip over the top rope down on his opponent. Back in the ring, Trent with a tornado DDT, cover 2. Moxley with a running knee strike plants Trent face first on the mat. Couple counters in attempt. This leads to the only 2 counts. Moxley with a big layer. Trent with one of his own. Cassidy makes his way into the ring and just has his hands up, puts him down into his pockets as he does. Moxley then turns back around and does the same thing, getting in his face. So Cassidy leaves. He's like, you know, okay, fine, which leads to a running knee by Trent. Power driver lands, cover for 2. Moxley makes his way to the ramp. Trent leaps off the ring but gets caught and eats a Death Rider, which sounded, you just heard the thud and it sounded brutal. Moxley gets back in the ring, hits another Death Rider, a elevated Death Rider for the 1, 2, 3, and Moxley is your winner. Post-match from the crowd, Sammy Guevara comes out with the mic and he tells Moxley he sees why he comes through the crowd, takes some drink and a plan, of course, goes in at them afterwards, says he sees why Moxley does this, says it's 2020 and the Inner Circle has a big surprise for Moxley. Isn't that right, Chris? AEW World Champion Chris says Moxley looked good in this ring and the premier is the premier wrestler in the business. Says he wants Moxley in the group and wants Moxley to lead the group. Is offering 49% of the Inner Circle LLC. Jericho standing in front of a Ford GT and offered it to Moxley with a license plate that says Mox. All Moxley has to do is say yes, and he wants Moxley to team up with the group so they can take out everyone in AEW. Think about it, he says. The world can be ours. All you have to do is say yes. Jericho gets in the car and drives off. Moxley says in a mic he considers even after everything that's happened, he considers Jericho a friend and a mentor, and says he will give his answer in person next week. During the split screen commercial, Sammy Guevara has a bunch of cards with words on them. He runs through everything Moxley will get if he joins. He asks about Victoria Justice's sister and plugs a social media account, yada yada yada. We come back and it's time for Sammy Guevara versus Dustin Rhodes. This match, of course, stems from back when, before Full Gear, when Jake Hager broke Dustin Rhodes' arm. Sammy Guevara, of course, was there vlogging it. He found that Dustin Rhodes wants his revenge on that as well. So Sammy Guevara is in for a little bit of a hurt because Dustin Rhodes wants his revenge. Dustin comes out. Guevara waits for him. Rhodes comes from behind to get the first shot. Rhodes lifts and tosses Guevara and is in complete control. Rhodes clotheslines Guevara out to the floor, then hits a cannonball sent onto the floor. Back in the ring, Rhodes goes to the top, but out comes Jake Hager, getting Rhodes' attention. Hager broke Rhodes' arms, of course. Rhodes refocuses, hits a spinning power slam on Guevara on the floor. Rhodes and Hager stare at each other, but Guevara hits a drop kick on Rhodes from the inside to the outside. Back to break. Back from fourth action, Hager gets involved and attacks Rhodes with the referee distracted. Rhodes really rolling now. Drops him down and hits an uppercut, inverted atomic drop onto the face. Kick to the face, Guevara recovered, Rhodes drops, standing moonsault, cover for 2 on the apron. Rhodes hits a Canadian Destroyer on the apron. Even Jake Hager couldn't believe this one. Rhodes showing that he might be 50-some years old, but he can still hang with the best of them. Hager hops up on the apron and gets punched right in the face. Guevara charges and gets flipped over the top rope onto Hager. Rhodes then gets Guevara back in the ring, smacks Guevara on the backside, chops the chest, sets up Shattered Dreams, is playing up to the crowd, wants the crowd to, get involved with this. By the way, major wedgie for Sammy Guevara while he's sitting on the turnbuckle. Referee gets in the way, stops him. Guevara pulls on the ref. Hager gets in there and hits a low blow onto Rhodes. Guevara with the pin, 1, 2, 3. There you go. I'm not as mad about this ending as I am about the other endings that I've seen because it was a heel helping his buddy win. So that is good. Of course, Jake Hager versus Dustin Rhodes. I fully expected a Revolution. It makes the most sense in the world why they would do it. So it's going to be interesting to see what we get between Dustin Rhodes and Jake Hager coming into Revolution on February 29th. Backstage, Jen Decker talks to Private Party and asks about 2020. They go to compliment Decker, and Adam Page shows up the bar behind them. Private Party on thrilled with Page just showing up, doing their promo and not saying hi. They feel like he's got a problem and says he could kick both their asses and storms off. He comes back to get his drink. Cassius Page is going to pay for his comments to them. MJF and Wardlow make it to the ring. MJF will announce his stipulations to wrestle Cody during the commercial break. MJF barks at some fans at ringside, and he has a woman kiss his ring and then kisses him. He offers the ring to another woman who passes. MJF snaps one of the fans' signs. He offers the ring to a male fan and he kisses it. Crowd does not like MJF. As we return to the show, MJF says he's a good guy here, but the fans are too dumb to figure that out. Again, MJF just showing off he is just so good at what he does with the promo game. He lists off his stipulations. It has to be AEW Revolution for the match. If Cody won't even touches him, no match, like even lays a sweaty palm on him, even a sweaty pinky. No match at the pay-per-view or ever. Second, the next stipulation, Cody has to face Wardlow. And then he's like, hold on, man. I don't think that stipulation is good enough. Good talk. And he says it has to be inside a solid steel cage match. I feel that's going to probably be a Bash at the Beach. The last one, if Cody wants to get down, wants this, he has to get down on all fours and get whipped. Not once, not twice. That's too easy. 10 times. That is it. That is it. If Cody wants MJF, he has to do all of the above. Going to be interesting to see what happens. The question I have is that is it going to be one of those things that like he has to beat Wardlow? He can't touch him, of course, and it has to be a Revolution. He has to beat Wardlow, and if he beats Wardlow, then he has to take the 10 whippings. That's a question I wonder. Or could it be that he takes the 10 whippings and then has to face Wardlow and has to beat him? So Wardlow's debut is going to be in a steel cage match. We'll be interested to see how this shapes out. And Decker talks to Jungle Boy about being able to last 10 minutes with Chris Jericho, and Jungle Boy says he did what he set out to do in 2020, and he's just looking for a win. There's will be a big year for Jurassic Express. He goes to ask something to Marco Stunt, and Marco Stunt goes to hug her, but Luchasaurus pulls him back. Backstage, Rio is asked about next week's match against Chris Statlander, but Britt Baker interrupts and isn't happy about being here each week along with funding her dental practice, yet Rio just rolls in, steals a win, and heads off. Baker says she doesn't deserve to hold the title. I absolutely agree with that. Rio looks saddened by Baker's words, which actually Britt Baker is telling the absolute truth. You have Britt Baker here every single week, and she still runs her dental practice. You have others who have shown up more in the recent month than Riho has. Cheetah has been on TV more than Riho has. Chris Statlander been on TV more than Riho has. Even B. Priestley in the last month has been on TV more than Riho has. But yet Riho can just come in, wrestle a match, win the match by the skin of her teeth, and then off to Japan. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right. They want to make this women's division actually mean something, and it's like you don't have to see Riho every week. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But the fact that it's like we saw her at Full Gear. I don't think we saw Riho again until the 18th of December. Maybe once or twice in between that. So the fact that Riho can go off to Japan, do her tours and all that stuff, and come back whenever she feels like it, I don't think it's right for everybody else. What's the point of having a Chris Statlander, a Big Swole, a Britt Baker, anybody else who comes in here, Shauna, anybody else, Nyla Rose, anybody else in this company? It's not fair, and I'm not saying it's fair for Riho to do this. I mean, for Shida to do the same thing. They are contracted to AEW. Riho is AEW Women's Champion. She should be there at least two times out of the month. Like I said, I don't think we saw her at all in December except for that last week. I could be totally wrong, but it just feels like she's spending more time in Japan than she is in AEW, and I don't think that's right. Again, Sheeta's been around a lot longer and a lot more than Riho has. As again, Riho does not deserve to be champion. Riho should not be champion, and Chris Statlander better win the championship next week, or this women's division has no hope. Pac and the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega is the end of the show for the week. This was a 6-man tag match. A very drunk, or a tipsy and drunken Hangman Page was on commentary for this. It did say on his thing he has been drinking. He had a drink with him. Now, Adam Page found out on this at this time that him and Kenny Omega will be taking on Private Party next week. He did not look happy about this, as he is trying to distance himself from the Elite, but the Elite continue to put him in matches with members of the Elite. So the heel turn of Adam Hangman Page has got to happen next week or soon thereafter. It just makes all the sense in the world that Adam Hangman Page is getting fed up with he's trying to distance himself to go on his own, but the Elite keeps drawing him back in. So it would not surprise me if we see a heel turn from Adam Hangman Page next week in Memphis. I believe they are, a lower Memphis area or something. It should be interesting to see what happens. But this was also a good match here. Lucha Bros, Pac, Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, they beat the hell out of each other. Not much I can, this is one of those things that I cannot do justice to this match. But Pac tags in, hits the Black Arrow cover, Bucks break the pin, double super kicks on Pentagon, Phoenix tags in, flies off the top rope and eats a big kick to the face. Omega hits the one-winged angel. 1, 2, 3. Omega in this match though did look like Kenny Omega from old. This didn't look like Kenny Omega of 2019 AEW edition. This looked like Kenny Omega trying to be the best bout machine, the guy who wants to go out there and prove that he is the best every single night. I know AEW, I know the Elite, I know Cody, Kenny, the Bucks did not want to have AEW be all about them. They didn't want to have the Bucks, Kenny, Cody be like these unbeaten gods in wrestling. But you can't just have the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Cody Rhodes just continue to lose every so often and having them lose matches that they should be winning. So it's great to see these guys get back on the right end. They won big matches. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody. Hangman Page is definitely turning heel. Will he join the Inner Circle? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And AEW TNT, their show was way better than they did the week before, 2 weeks ago. I know they didn't have a show last week, but the New Year's edition, the Homecoming edition, back in Dali's Place, which is a beautiful looking venue, something that I think is awesome for them to use for television. I wonder what that would look like during the summertime when it's a little bit lighter, when it's not completely dark out by 8 o'clock sometimes. I mean, remember what happened when they did the pay-per-view, or the Fight for the Fallen there. It wasn't as dark as it looked for this show. But that is your AEW on TNT review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. Go check out The France Plays, as I am playing through any type of game that I can find. I might do some Order 1886, some Lego stuff. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.